All right. Hey. A little strubly this morning. Hey. Oh, my computer just went to sleep. I'm like, wake up, it's the morning, silly. Oh, goodness. So, hey, good morning. Good morning. Just getting all of us are probably just getting ourselves started. Speaking of, my computer logged itself out. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I guess I never shut down my computer last night. Silly me. Silly me. No big deal. So let's do this and do this. And then we'll do this. Good morning, everybody. So we've got Infinite Pile, Kaylin, Don Leo, Blonde Cheryl, Kendall. Nice to see everybody. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, hey, as people are kind of showing up at their own pace, not a big deal. Actually, the way things should be. Laura Gibbon-Vo, nice to see you. Beth and Co. I love it. I feel like a Grateful Dead cover band or something. What was I going to say? Oh, so this is going to be kind of fun. Yeah, I love this. So Sue kind of beat me to it a little bit. So as many of you know, I do YouTube lives and TikTok lives, or TikTok lives and YouTube lives. Usually it's the TikTok and then the YouTube. Good morning, Anne. I love that you have your little coffee cup there. So here's something that came up last night on the Destination Decluttered YouTube live. And it was about the struggle with kind of doing paperwork and even more so, I think, a little bit about trying to get a second win at night when you are tired and you just got home from work and you haven't even had dinner and it's like 8:45. And this happened to somebody. This happened last night to somebody. And so I said, you know what? How about not getting a second wind? How about just letting yourself eat and rest and make a plan to do your paperwork that's overwhelming you in the morning with some of us. Yes. And we decided to call it Coffee in Categories. Categories. Do. You know? All right. So what I want to offer to you, and Rossman, I see you, I'll get to you in just a sec, do not worry, is categorizing. Okay, so I'm kind of jumping in deep right now, but I want to give you a framework. So a lot of times, and I'm Beth, I'm Decluttering Life Coach, Destination Decluttered, here for the next 57 minutes, almost an hour with you. And notice that the feeling of overwhelm can sometimes be a feeling you feel when you think of your clutter. I can even tell Rossman, I give up decluttering, I'm over it, I have nowhere to shift the stuff I want to keep. Like the run-on sentences and the rapidity with which you have these like things, this overwhelmed feeling. One of the antidotes, one of the things to counteract and to even out when you're feeling overwhelmed is to kind of calm down. Yes, a deep dive. And I mean this in calming down your nervous system. And one of the ways that I like to describe doing that is by using the word down. So I like to think of breathing down, quieting down, drinking down some water, shoulders down, all those downs. And one of the great downs is going to be chunking down. After you are feeling better physically and calming down your nervous system, which you can do. Rossman, right now, you could deep breathe, quiet down turn down the volume on those voices, the voice you hear in your head that's getting you overwhelmed. Chunking down and writing down are two very wonderful next steps. And what we're going to do this morning with anybody who wants to participate is to decide on a category of clutter. We decided last night it was going to be paperwork, just in general. Notice how general that is. Your paperwork may be different from mine, and everybody's is different, but it's paperwork. And within that chunk of clutter, we're going to chunk it down another step, which is into the chunk of categories. Now, paperwork is a chunk of clutter, but there are chunks within or categories within paperwork. So, for example, we talked last night about the category of bills inference, bills that need to be paid, paperwork from kids that needs action taken upon them. It could be mail that needs to be opened. It could be notes from this meeting I took at work. Looking at my desk right now, I have papers in it because I have a fairly big desk. And I see something that means I should be calling for a doctor's appointment. I need to rejigger a schedule. I see some travel notes. I see a bill that needs to be paid. I see my habit tracker. So categories, okay? And what I want to offer to everybody here who's going to be working on your paperwork, start with high-level categorizing first. Do not go on a deep dive and read all the words on a paper. You can pretty much tell from an envelope or a piece of paper, from something in the top header, who it's from, and you know enough about your stuff to know what it is. Is that from Verizon? Is that from the school? Is it from a doctor? Is that from, is it junk mail? So start everybody who's going to be working on paperwork this morning. And I'm here to help you when you're stuck. So when you're like, okay, I did that, now what? I can help you with the next steps. Or I'm stuck because, all right? So I'll give you the next couple of steps because this is a way to do it, as I like to say with my latent Boston accent, you got to work smarter, not harder, okay? Working smarter. So set up your piles, big piles into little piles. And then you can focus down on one pile and notice the things you can do. Okay, I love that. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is going for a walk with a friend. Love it. But you have helped me decide. Papers, etc. She's going to sort the papers in her piano bench. Sing us the song, you're the piano bench. Sing us a song tonight. Yes. So high-level sorting into categories that make sense to you, like items together, we used to say in visual merchandising. Okay? And then from there, choose a pile that you would love to make progress on, but take into account, this is when you come up from, okay, now I have all these smaller piles. Then take a look at your clock and what your plans are for the morning, and also see, maybe some of these things require phone calls, but it's too early. Pick a pile to work on that you can easily make progress on with the circumstances that surround you. And even if you don't make a lot of progress there, the categorizing and the getting started is always going to be better than leaving it an uncategorized jumble. Okay? Yay, Sue. I hope what I said helped. Anybody else who's working on paper, do you have any questions? Now, as I said, this is kind of like, in a way, it's like free coaching, but it's to encourage you to, instead of just sit there passively listening to what I'm saying, please get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Stand up, sit down, move around, and do something with your clutter as we kind of chat in the background. Now, I specifically picked a certain level of clutter that at the very high level, even just categorizing them, you can do. If you need to turn down the volume on me while I'm here keeping you company and I am at a lower volume, so when you get to the action of doing things from those piles, you need to hear yourself think, please do that. Please do that. But I hope this is enough to get you started. And if it isn't, let me know what you need. Put it in the comments and I'm happy to do that. Okay? Now, similarly, Rossman, I give up decluttering. I'm over it. I have nowhere to shift the stuff I want to keep. Okay, well, what I want to offer to you and to everybody, first of all, that kind of I give up feeling, to me is the feeling, I'll just call it overwhelm. Like I'm done. Like, blah. It's not a good feeling. It's a stop. It's a period at the end of a sentence. Well, if you stop at that period, you never move on to the next sentence. If you stop at that stop sign, and really all it is a stop sign or a stoplight, and you're stopped there and you're like, nope, can't do it. That's a feeling. So Rossman, I want to encourage you to notice that you're feeling away because you have a thought. Okay, let's really be clear about the association between the words in your head, aka thoughts. I just call them words in your head because you can scramble them up, whatever. But you have words in your head that you just told yourself that can be giving you that feeling. I have nowhere to shift the stuff I want to keep. Now, I'll be honest, that may be true. That may be true. I don't know the quantities of stuff you've decided to keep, and I don't know the square footage of the area that you are in. What I will say is, unless you can move to a bigger home right now, you might want to take a second look at the stuff you want to keep and do another go round and say, do I really want to keep all this? Or can I decrease what I keep by 10 or 20% so the stuff I have fits in the space I have? Now, if you have decluttered before without me, maybe you've done a good job, a decent job, you might be able to declutter a little bit further. That's when it gets more into the how do I want my home to function, the storage of your clutter. But I'm going to bet, I have a sneaky suspicion, I could be wrong, totally happy to be wrong, that you might be able to reduce the quantity of items that you've kept to increase the quality of them and to make it easier, because I'm all about making things easy, to make it easier for you to put your things away so it's easier for you to access them, it's easier for you to use them, and it's easier for you to put them away or down or dump. Okay, so now this is really interesting. Notice how your words don't the words up here do not reflect the reality. I have nowhere to shift the stuff, and yet you say, here we go. Sorry, I have 2 guest rooms, so plenty of space. Okay, so space isn't your problem. So I say to you with no judgment, because I choose to hang out with cluttered people all the freaking time, because I'm a decluttering life coach. Maybe play along with the game at home, because really when people are working on, there we go, mid-century mugs. Let me just give a couple of shout outs, okay, before I get back into the decluttering. Mid-century mugs is going to be subbing at a middle school today. Send up a little prayer. The moment I wake up, before I turn on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. Yeah, you got this, hon. You got this. All right? Yay, Ms. Ma'am, finished my radiation. I have time to join you. Yay. Oh, hon, congratulations on that. All right? Anne says, I've been using these lives as a timed chunk of decluttering. Then I go to work, etc. Yes, please use our beginning time together, and end time as a chunk that's already predefined by me. Use that chunk for you. Okay, good morning, Kelly D. Yay. Okay, good stuff. I love it. Kate listens and then does stuff on the weekends. Very cool. Now, I'm going to get back a little bit. I just want to say hey to people. Susie is saying, I am never sure how long to keep paper things. Okay, I love this because we're going back to the theme of paperwork. Paper things is a little bit vague because different paper things have different kind of shelf lives, whatever. So Susie, this is where we're going to, again, notice the process, people. I always want to be revealing the structure behind what I'm telling you to do so you can do this on your own. We went from a big clutter to paperwork, now categorizing them. So I ask you, Susie, what is one category of paperwork that you are unsure of? I don't want to say never sure, because sometimes you are sure. I don't need to keep that at all. I can throw it away. So sometimes you have been sure. I like to also point out lovingly to pay attention to the words we use. Because if you're never sure, that doesn't feel good. Sometimes I am sure, kind of breaks that drama of all or nothing. Sometimes I'm sure to keep things and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't, right? Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul Mounds don't, because, right? So Susie, categorize. Categories, chunking it down. It really is not as overwhelming and difficult as we may think it is. Okay? Mid-Century Mugs says my house is too big, and I have 30 years worth of stuff. Yes, so notice, many times people think, oh, if I just had more storage space. No, then you actually just store more stuff. Okay? Now, Mega's dancing is just saying, okay, Monterey Bay says, it's 5:15 here. I can't start organizing this early. Let me help you organize your thoughts. Maybe that's a thing. You can just listen, because I'm going to explain to Mega's dancing about how to start. So again, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. It's 8:16 in the morning where I am, because I'm in Pennsylvania. And I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives almost every day. There's a schedule of them. If you want to find out the schedule, if you like what you hear, I've got an email group you can join. You go to destinationdecluttered.com, my website, you sign up. It's pretty low-key, very, very low-key. How do I start? So this is how I recommend everybody start, including myself, every day and throughout the day, because it's rarely a set it and forget it. You don't just eat once in the house in the day and then you're done. You don't just pee once. You do things kind of in a cycle. So the very first thing I will start. Now, these first two steps may be like, wait, I thought we were talking about decluttering. I trust me. You are. I am. Whoever. Start with your physical body and just do a check-in. As I like to say, and if anybody wants to pick what we call on these lives a hydration word, we pretty much do shots of water anytime I repeat a word to help you remember to listen and also to take a sip of water. And I always say, if you want to get dehydrated hanging out, or if you want to get hydrated hanging out with me, you use the word down, okay? So number one, step number one is your physical body. This is your skin within, from within the skin. Nothing out here, just in here. How are you feeling physically? So you do a scan. You put your hands up, and then you bring your hands down. And it's kind of like you're on like one of those old-timey printers. And most of it, hopefully, is printing green. Green means good. Green means things are okay. Ooh, there's a flare-up of red. What's over there? Oh, my shoulder hurts. Okay, note, there's something I should do about that. Oh, I'm feeling anxious. Okay, note, that's our nervous system. We'll get there in a second, but good to know. Okay, my belly feels kind of empty, so I should probably get something to eat. Oh, I go even lower? Ooh, I might need to go to the bathroom. Okay, hips on down. All right, my knees are feeling achy. Maybe I stretch them. So see how you feel physically, Meg. Just do a quick scan. And if anything flares up red, that is an indication to change what is not feeling good. Okay? So just for training purposes only, let's pretend that your body is feeling fine today. It doesn't have to feel fabulous. It just has to feel not awful. Fine, good, okay is enough to get started. Okay, if you're feeling too tired, notice that. The next one after physical body is a subset of your physical body, which is your nerves and the system of nerves running throughout this entire meat bag you're walking around the world in. And it's your nervous system. It's a system of nerves that can make you feel a certain feeling. I'm overwhelmed. I'm feeling discouraged. Now I almost feel like I'm on Schoolhouse Rock about interjections show excitement and emotion. If your nervous system is feeling kind of flared up and overwhelmed, pretty much is the key word right here. If it's overwhelmed, I like to play this word, this opposite game. If you're feeling overwhelmed, notice I'm in over my head. I'm so over this, I think somebody said there. I'm over this? Okay. Now, instead of being down in it, you're going to be up above it. So you're going to calm down your nervous system by slowing down, by sitting down, by quieting down your environment. Notice even when I'm talking about this, I have lowered the volume and the tone of my voice. Drinking down some water, probably the most important one, is breathing down into the bottom of your lungs and then slowing down your exhale. Do this to regulate your nervous system, but to get out of overwhelm, which is kind of a jagged line up above here, and to calm down a bit so you've got a little bit more of a wave right here. Now, on the flip side, if you're feeling like flatlining, like almost like one of those things on a doctor show or in the, let's get you revved up a little bit. Not too much. Don't overwhelm yourself, but do some things. Move yourself, move your body to get up to kind of this just right spot, a la Goldilocks. And those are the first 2 steps to get you started. Then really what it is so it was a scan on down for your physical. It was calming down your nervous system. Step 3, to me, is going to be chunking down. Okay? Chunking down / writing down. You can chunk down. What does chunk down mean? It means don't look at the entire house that's all, pick a chunk you want to work on. Now, last night we mentioned we were going to work on paperwork today, so maybe you decide to play along at home and work on paperwork. That's a chunk. And then within that chunk of paperwork, we're already chunking that down even further. The smaller you make things, much like eating any beverage or any food, chunking it down helps you do the thing. Cutting a piece of pie into a smaller piece is how you eat the whole piece of pie. So chunking it down can also decrease your feeling of overwhelm. Okay? So I hope that helps to get you started. Okay. Now, Mid-Century Mug says, my husband insists on keeping all papers and doing all bills, etc. via paper. Mid-Century Mugs is not so mid-century in the fact that they're saying, go digital. All right? Susie is also saying, my husband keeps all bill invoices, medical invoices. He keeps it all too. Okay. So what I want to offer to you as well is notice, please. Us right here, the almost 100 of us right here, is a mere fraction of the amount of people in our country and in the world that struggles with clutter. I was thinking if I could use a better word than struggle. Has thoughts and feelings about stuff. That's even more general. But notice, 2 husbands already keeps all the bills and all the invoices. Now, I offer, they have their own thoughts about paperwork that causes them to feel a certain way. And when you think a certain way and you feel a certain way, you tend to do a certain thing. And it's on either side. It can be the things that you think that are unhelpful, that make you feel discouraged, and then you don't do anything. But I like the flip side, much like Davy Jones. Think a different thought, a better thought, a more helpful thought. Feel better, do better. So I offer to everybody, since we're talking about paperwork now, okay? And notice this. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is actually excited about the thought of being able to actually store my music in the music bench. Wonderful. So notice, a thought can make you go, wah, wah. It's too much. I can't. It's always been this way. Wah, wah. Where goes your energy? It's leaking out. Your gas tank has got a hole in it. However, a different thought can make, ooh, you know what? If I declutter this paperwork, I can then put stuff I want in that space instead of what's there currently. So now Laura is not there currently doing the action, but prior to the action, you have a thought. And your thought before doing something really can influence you doing it at all or how you feel while you do it. So why not pick a good thought? What can you get out of it? To me, here's some benefits of working on your paperwork this morning. And I'll have to remember to write down. Yes, I did. See, we've got Sue, we've got Erin, Leslie categorized in paperwork. So I'm gonna make sure I'll call this one the paperwork episode when I upload the recording of this up to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. Literally, you guys, there's over 850 videos up there now. And Sue, I think, mentioned that she's in Texas, so the time zone is a couple of early. So sometimes she can't often be up doing stuff, but she will watch the recordings. Okay, so if you're in a position where you don't even want to get out of your nice cozy bed, that's cool. You can watch the recording or just listen to it. You don't need to watch. All you see is me kind of flailing around and pointing at stuff or grabbing my Mr. Microphone. I'm on the radio. I love it. But some benefits. What's in it for me when I declutter some paperwork? Well, I know what I have to do, and it makes it easier to do it. So then I just do it, and then it's done. So I don't have things nagging at me. Pay that bill, sign that thing, write that check, mail that thing. You don't have things yelling at you. So that's a wonderful feeling to just be like, I'm good. I took care of it. The other thing about doing categorizing and decluttering your paperwork, I personally think, and I will say this kind of jumps ahead a little bit, but you have the opportunity right now to notice your existing process of how you deal with paperwork. And what I want to offer to you from personal and professional decluttering life coach experience, working with one-on-one clients for years, is many of us don't realize the programs that we automatically go on autopilot for that may have been invented decades ago. And we have not really questioned it because this is what I do with my paperwork. This is what I've always done. Now, I don't know about you guys. You can probably tell by the grays in my hair and the wrinkles around my eyes that I'm of a certain generation. So I remember the world before computers. I remember when the paper world was the only world we had. So when I grew up, and especially my parents, it was all paper-based, and it was not as easy to get a copy of anything. So if you didn't save a piece of paper from back in the day to prove something, here's another one. Paper equals proof. I am saving this piece of paper because it proves something. Okay? And many of us were raised by people who were firmly in the paper world, and now we are in a hybrid. We're in a halvesies kind of world of part paper, part online. It is so much easier now than it was when we learned how to deal with paper. It is so much easier now to get a replacement copy. My God, I have a printer next to my computer right here. It wasn't always that way. So just notice right now, when you go through your paperwork now, you have a chance to ask yourself, is what I do with paper making me work harder, not smarter? And if that's the truth, let's do some things to change it. And what I also don't want you to think of is the immediate extreme that your brain may go to think I'm going to convince you to go all digital. No. People who've been following me for a while, people who coach with me, know that I keep paperwork, but it is a manageable amount. I have a system, a simple system that I use to keep my paperwork, and it doesn't activate my nervous system to do any process of it. I'm a human. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, like right here. Oh, that's right. I got to call the physical therapy guy. Yeah, whatever. I got to do it. But it's not a big deal. It's not stressing me out. I know it's something I can do. I just haven't done it yet. Okay. So as I'm categorizing, I love this. So Erin is noticing. As I'm categorizing, I notice I keep work papers to remind me of stuff. Scanning to digital would be out of sight, out of mind, right? So notice this, and let's slow down the process because I freaking love this. Okay, you have a method of saving papers because it is a visual trigger to pop open the thought in your brain, I have to do that. Me having the referral to the physical therapy guy here is a visual reminder too. Yeah, I am kind of anti-scanning existing paperwork. To me, it's just a couple of extra steps, but if people want to do it, you do you. But Erin, what I would notice is that your paper It's either, okay, I keep work stuff to remind me of stuff, and it may be an action to take. You could also write down what it reminds you of in a book, in a singular place, and reduce the clutter of the paperwork while still saving the memory, the reminder, the thing you want to keep. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind ain't so good. You keep it in sight. I mean, flip over the opposite. You keep things in your line of sight to keep it in your mind. Right. So Michelle already knows about herself. Yes, out of sight, out of mind gets me in trouble 100% of the time. Again, I am not so much about the all or nothing. I bet there are times, Michelle, where you have some things out of sight that it helps you. Because if everything you own is in your sight, wah, 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 it's going to be yelling at you the whole time. If you have drawers in your kitchen and you know what stuff is in those drawers, you know when things are out of sight that they're still there. Okay, so here's an interesting thing, Erin. But I already have 10 spiral notebooks from 5 years of the job. I never look at them. I will offer this, and it harkens back to when I was in college. Having the notes, okay, if you feel comfortable tossing them, by all means do. What I found, so this may help, okay, is that I take notes while I'm in a class or a meeting because that helps me focus within that meeting and reduce my fear of not knowing what happened in the meeting after I get out of it, that I can refer to my notes. I may never need to refer to them. So Erin, I just offer this from my own personal experience. This may be common to you. Maybe the importance of the notes is not the notes themselves, but is the act of taking notes. I often say, it's so funny, I don't want to, this is goofy. I often say I think better, I can focus more. I can focus more easily when I've got something to write in my hand because I'm listening for the important stuff and when I can write it down. I even just was like, I didn't want to pick up a Sharpie because I don't take notes with Sharpies. I take notes with things. So notice that there may be a time. It's kind of like sometimes, honestly, journaling, keeping a diary. That, my brain is trying to, okay, I can do this. The act of journaling, the action of journaling, the act of writing things down, maybe that's where the important thing happens, and then the evidence of it is secondary. So notice that. You may never need to or want to read what you wrote after you wrote it, but being there and focusing on things and articulating to yourself. Yes, and Dale Catherine is saying that. Yeah, taking notes helps me focus. I may not keep the notes, but taking them helps. And think about that. Focusing down to a pen point, okay? And that helps you focus on listening for what's important to you, okay? So just think about that. Now, I have notes back there from my coaching certification, from classes I've taken, and I could, in theory, pitch those things. But I get a certain feeling of security to say if I ever wanted to go through those notes, they're there if I want to look back at them. They're resource material. I rarely have, but they're there if I want them. They don't take up a lot of space, so I'm cool with keeping them. Okay? So just notice that about your note-taking, that maybe you're doing the right thing all along, and then maybe you keep them for 5 years and then you pitch them. It might give your nervous system a feeling of safety. And man, that's really a lot of what we're going for, is that feeling of safety, security. I feel safe knowing that I have those notes in case I need to refer to them. All right? Now, Michelle, I love this. So notice your flip side is a little bit black and white. So like the 45 RPM thing is a little bit of analogy. Let's talk about the rainbow, okay? 100% is over here and 0% is over here. None of us are truly ever 0 or 100. We are all somewhere there on the rainbow, okay? So notice, on the flip side, I am also that person who gets stressed out by seeing it all. So notice, if you see it all, it sucks, and you're also saying, if I don't see it, it sucks. So let's meet somewhere in the middle, okay? What I want to offer to all of you, because I've been through this, I've walked through this myself and with clients, is that you can train yourself to have homes for things, and you can train yourself to know where that home is. And the more you use that home for that item or that notebook for that thought, you will be creating a connection, a neural connection in your brain between where are the scissors and I know where the scissors are. Where are the bills that I need to pay? I know where the bills I need to pay are. And knowing where your stuff is without it having to be right in your face is a wonderful feeling, because then you reduced your visual clutter, which also calms down your nervous system, and you get a sense of safety. This is why many of us don't feel comfortable with things out of mind, because we've probably just jammed them somewhere trying to quickly clear a surface because you don't know what to do with it, so I'll just throw it somewhere, but then you forget where it is. Anybody ever done that? Okay. Now, Dixie says, I'm 56 years old. I used to keep paper planners and notebooks for everything, and I went to digital planners and digital notebooks. Now, I'm a hybrid. I am. I use my paper along with my my digital, and it's a combo that's worked well for me. Okay? And Dale Catherine says, I get security from my notes as well. So I offer this to you, everybody here. Notice when saving something, notes, sentimental objects, receipts, notice the desire for that sense of safety. Okay? And that is a good feeling. None of us get, like, especially in the world right now, it is something that we crave and require. Because if you're not feeling safe, you're feeling unsafe, which is you in fear and fight or flight, and you're like a fearful deer in the headlights, paralyzed. That's not a good place to be. Somebody can run you over. What you have to realize is, as soon as you find yourself getting that overwhelm, is to calm it down. Because then you can move your body and get out of the street and not get hit by a car. Now, that's like if you're a deer in the headlights, if you know what I mean. Now, Anne, here's a fun thing. I want to help you to this, okay? Anne says, oh, I can't wait to have all my things in a place. Anne, you don't have to wait to have all your things in a place. Yes, that day will come, and all your stuff will have a place. Oh, that sounded awful. That is a destination, but you don't have to wait, because you're already on the way. You have many of your things already in a place where you know them. Do you have all of them? No, you're not there yet, but you're closer than ever before. This is a phrase that really helps me, because I want to share it with you. Now, again, a lot of you know that I tend to use the road tripping metaphor. So this is why I'm waving my hands around like I just don't care, between a pinpoint and a map, and a car, which is us, and the destination, which is the heart. And if I move my phone over here a little bit, the destination of happiness. Okay, that's what we're aiming for, right? Right? Oh man, if somebody used right as their hydration word, you'd probably get hydrated as well. What I want to suggest to you is, you're never always at the beginning. You are somewhere on the journey, and this is the phrase that I love to say to myself when I say, I may not be there yet. And feel free to write this down. I'll repeat it. I may not be there yet, but I am closer than I've ever been. How does that feel? I'm not there yet. Nope, not there. How about this? Look at how far I've come. I may not be there yet, but I am closer to that destination of pretty much knowing where all my stuff is, I am closer than I've ever been before. I like that thought. I use it a lot. I like to think of it too, like if I'm thinking of a road trip, okay, here's like the road trip on a US map from the East Coast to the West Coast. Let's say you're not there yet, but you're here. Well, you're 25% there. You're closer than you've ever been, and you're further away from where you started. And then you do some more, and then you get to about halfway. And then sometimes you might feel, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? And yes, it is, but only if you keep on moving forward. Now here you may be like, seriously, dudes, can we just be done with this? Because you're going to get tired and you're saying this is taking forever. But then you say, yeah, but you know what? I'm already 3/4 of the way there. If I just keep on chugging along, not racing, chugging, chugga chugga choo choo, okay, I will get there. I may not be there yet, but look at how far I've come. Look at how close I am. So I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on going. Yeah. It really is. And notice, these words I am sharing with you are words in my head that make me feel a certain way. Those words encourage me. And when I'm encouraged, I have courage. And courage is the thing that gets you moving. And moving, if you've picked a destination, which when you're with me, you're always picking a destination, moving in the direction of your destination. Okay? And the destination really is, to a certain degree, how your home looks. It's how your home functions, but the most important one is how do you feel? And learning the skills along the way to help yourself feel good every day of the journey, to practice on a daily basis, noticing when you start to feel overwhelmed and feeling like you're going to shut down, and putting up your traffic cop hand and saying, I don't want to feel that way, and then knowing what to do to get yourself out of that so you don't spin yourself into a rut. This is a life skill. Okay? So I'm going to do a thing here. Now, Anastasia, and that feeling of safety, I don't have to worry that I don't know where my scissors are. Anastasia says, I feel safe when I have 2 of everything, 2 scissors and more. Okay. If that works for you, fine. I don't judge. I have a pair of scissors in multiple rooms in my house, and it makes me feel good. Okay? Now Kelly says, I just started a new daily cleaning, decluttering routine, and I am sticking to it this time. Awesome. I wish you all the best, Kelly. What I want to offer you is 2 things to help you with that, and then I totally want to be checking in with my my paperwork decluttering people. I hope you're all doing well. If you are stuck, put it in the comments so I can help get you unstuck. I'm like the AAA with a tow truck, okay? If you're stuck in your categorizing of your paperwork, or wherever you're stuck in your decluttering of your paperwork, articulate where you're stuck in the comments and I can help you, okay? But Kelly with the new daily cleaning and decluttering routine, and I'm sticking to it this time. Notice how you're being tough on yourself. I'm sticking to it this time. Yeah. One thing that may help you, and it's free, so it's not like I'm selling anything, is a habit tracker. While you are getting in the habit of doing something you're not used to, it's a new daily cleaning routine. It might benefit you to have a habit tracker. Now, I have this free PDF that I made a wicked long time ago. It's on the secret page, actually, as I like to call it, just for people in the Destination Decluttered email group. But if you want this so you don't have to make your own, just join the email group, destinationdecluttered.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, put your email address in there, join the club. You get a link to the secret page, okay? So what I offer to you is use some things. Erin, I see you. I'll be there with you in 2 seconds, I promise. There are tools you can use to help you stick with it. But also, please, everybody, again, this is not all or nothing. This is somewhere in between. If, when you start this daily cleaning and decluttering routine, you don't do it perfectly one day, do not give up. The goal is to increase the times that you do it and decrease the times you don't do it. It does not need to be perfect. It can be kind of patchwork. Like this is my habit tracker for the month. I haven't even filled it out yet, but this is my habit tracker for last month. There's plenty of times I did do certain things and there's plenty of times I didn't. Okay, so Erin is getting stuck. Each pile reminds me of all the follow-ups I need to do. Notice I am sensing the overwhelm. All these things I need to follow up on. That's shutting you down and you won't be able to follow up with a damn one. Okay? So that's good to know that you have things to follow up on. Remember how it worked when you were doing your getting money back from your work thing. Can't remember the name of it. Pick a pile. Pick a pile, any pile. Erin. Okay? And don't get overwhelmed by all the follow-ups you need to do. Perhaps in the next 15 minutes, you say to yourself, okay, I know all these. Maybe you clip together. I'm always a big fan of like paper clip, doing something. Those piles that you have in certain categories that are all follow-ups, clip them all together but one. And then today, work on just one pile and doing some follow-ups. Expense reports, yes, thank you. Okay? Chunk it down again. Notice where the overwhelm is trying to shut you down. We're not going to let it. Clip together all of those piles but one and just practice and say, what follow-ups can I do in the next 14 minutes? Okay? So I'm going to get back here. Alrighty. Okay, cool. Yay. I love it. Kelly's at week 3. Rock on, hon. That's awesome. Okay, you know what? Here's the deal. Ashley, I totally went through this last week, so I can help you with it because I can't even remember why. I think because our dryer is making a weird noise. I am stuck on all the appliance manuals. Okay, so one way you can chunk that down, Ashley, is, and notice how saving the appliance manual can create a situation of nervous system safety. Okay, so Ashley, the first thing I would do, which is what I did, is just go through all of your appliance manuals and see if you still own those appliances. Okay? Let go of, recycle the ones you don't have, but then you're going to be left with them. And this is where I say to myself, okay, if it makes me, and this is where I feel like I love this kind of good enough. Yes, in theory, the new ones are probably online, but then I would need to search for it, and then I need to find the model number. Or, okay, for me in my house, my appliance manuals, I have them in some random folder that I got from something, and it takes up about an 8.5 by 11 by maybe 2.5 inch space in my desk. I put them in there. I know where they are. Do I refer to them? Barely. But then I don't get overwhelmed by them. I know where they are if I need them. And isn't that a nice feeling? I know where it is if I need it. And if I own the appliance, I may need it. Have I needed it lately? No. But how much space will I truly gain by letting go of them? So I keep it. I hope that helps. Okay? Now here's an interesting thing. Oops. Joyful in the Moment says, Erin, yes, I dread that day every month. Well, here's a fun thing, and you're talking about expense reports. Joyful in the Moment, one of the things that made Erin feel better, and if Erin doesn't mind me talking about her, is when she chunked down her expense reports and did a little bit at a time. So how about this? If you dread that one day at the end of the month, because it's a wicked lot of work to do on that one day, how about creating a new system where you do a little bit of that at the end of each week? Imagine that. If you had like 2 gallons of water that you needed to drink in 1 hour versus, well, I can't do the math, but a smaller amount every so often. Chunking it down. Okay. Ashley is asking, okay, I already have joined your emails. Rock on. Where do I find the habit tracker? The secret page. The hidden page that I try to put a link to in pretty much every email. And I will be sending out an email today because the Declutter Party tickets are live for October. Email to crew, to the group. And I will make sure to put a link, Lancelot Link's secret page. Okay? but it's always there. I highly recommend, if you know where the secret page is, bookmark it. Okay? And I would say this, PM 11208, to me, and again, I want to offer to everybody, sometimes the deciding of whether to keep the paperwork or not is too much work for literally, again, think of what you're going to gain if you let go of it, is literally an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper's worth of space. And you may run the risk of not having the peace of mind of having it in case I need it someday. Okay? So I say to you, this may sound counterintuitive to a decluttering, but notice, it's not clutter. See, this is me saving myself. It's not clutter when it's like paid off loans and refinanced mortgages. Now, if it's of the same house you still live in, I don't know, you might want to keep it. And this is where my phrase can't hurt might help. I don't know, keep it. If it's for a house you don't live in anymore, that one you can probably safely let go of. But again, notice the trade-off, okay? I was brought up by people who kept too much paperwork. I suggest you get more comfortable with what seems right for you. And what I mean seems right is the amount of paperwork that you keep that isn't clutter. It's not crap. It's good stuff, but you don't know if you should keep it or not. Keep it. You know, you'll have a couple of folders in a drawer somewhere or in a tote, and you know it's there if you need it, and you may not need it, but knowing it's there may give you a sense of, and it's so funny, because I think of peace of mind, and we think of our minds up here, but man, when I feel peace of mind, I feel it right here. Okay? Yeah. Right. Okay, so Erin, notice this. Yeah. Erin with her expense reports. I had to do 4 separate reports. It took 9 hours over 3 days. It was tedious, but necessary to get my money back. And hell yeah, talk about destination get my money back. I'd be on that like in nobody's business. But if it's 4 separate reports, look at all the time. One report would have been nervous system overload. But yes, notice you chunked it down. Yay. Yay. Okay. Yep. And you could take a picture of the paper, or you could just deal with the paper. Oh, see? Now, isn't that cool, Erin? Notice she has created different categories. Ready to file and follow up. Now, again, within the follow-up, it may be easy for you to kind of stay in the mode of this is all the kids about all the stuff for the kids, and this is all the stuff for work. But look at you doing that. Yeah, and totally. PM Patty. Anybody here? So Patty says, I'm a young boomer, and it's tough because she was raised by the silent generation. I'm an elder Gen Xer. I totally know I'm not young boomer. I'm totally elder Gen X, reporting for duty. So I get it. But what I want to offer is those people who raised us, for the most part, were doing the best they could with the skills they were taught by the people they grew up with. So this is where clutter and doing things ends up being a generational thing. I know clutter and fear and not having a lot of stuff totally is how I was raised. But the funny thing is, at a certain point, none of that stuff was true. I had more than enough. I wasn't afraid. Or I shouldn't have been afraid. I had all the things, but I was still afraid inside because of the way I was trained. Okay? Right. So yes, I offer to all of us, notice where you came from. Notice who taught you. Notice what they do. You don't have to do that no more. Back in the day, you had to do what your mom said. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oh goodness, is it already 8:54? That's crazy. You can choose to do something business, different. Yeah, she has every paper, every article of clothing, but so organized. Yeah, but you know what? Organized doesn't mean decluttered. And this is going to sound dark, Erin, but man, you and your siblings are going to find that out when she dies and you have to clean out her house. I don't care how organized it is. You can still have a bunch of stuff that you technically don't need, and keep it organized. So please, let's not repeat. Let's break the generational curse or habit and not be those people for ourselves while we're alive. That's what we're doing right now. And Erin, you are now in a position where you are showing your daughters a different way of approaching things than maybe you had for the first, 10 plus years of their lives. Okay? Right. Anastasia had a nanny till she was 14, so she didn't learn a lot because somebody else was doing it for her. All of this is totally okay. It's like being on a road trip and parking your car and saying, well, here I am. Here I am. It's October 2nd of 2025. Here I am. Here's how I got here. How did I get some of these things are not the way I want it to? Oh, habits. People taught me what they knew, but even they were not great teachers. We all have the opportunity to drive in a different direction after pausing right now to just ask ourselves, do we want to keep on going on this road that we're on, doing the things we're doing? Because the things that you're doing got you to have the stuff that's surrounding you. Now, I will speak from the other side to be like, holy mother of God, is my life so much better when I realized I could change what I didn't like, that I didn't have to just do what they said. And they can continue. That can be them. But I'm going to do my things my way. And it has helped me. Oh my God, you guys. It's 2025 me, 2015 me, 2005 me, 1995 me, 1985 me, 1975 me would be so freaking excited about so much that's going on right now. But up until the last 10 years, I was like, I have no idea. Okay? So I repeat this for emphasis. Just because they did it and that's who they are, you are different. You do not have to do what they say. Notice how it's working out for them. It may be working for them and the way they do them, you can do you. Okay? And I offer to you, if you don't like the quantity of stuff in your house, if you don't like the quality of stuff in your house, if you don't like how you feel walking around your house, looking at and being yelled at by the stuff in your house all the time, I'm here to help you quiet down your house. To decrease the quantity, which will increase the quality, and do it in a way that does not have you regretting the decisions, but being grateful for the decisions you made today. Oh, here's a fun thing I want to end with, because I'm going to sign off in about 2 minutes. So sad news in the fact that Jane Goodall, the woman who was with the shrimps, oh my God, the shrimps, the chimps, she passed away. She passed away, okay? And as I was reading her obituary, I actually screenshotted this because I wanted to share it with you, okay? This first part, touched me as somebody who shows up doing TikTok lives and YouTube lives and one-on-one coaching and getting people together in all sorts of ways. So she says, if one wants to reach people, if one wants to change attitudes, and I say this as a coach, but I say this to think of yourself. If one wants to reach people, yourself, if one wants to change attitudes in yourself, you have to reach the heart. You can reach the heart by telling stories, not by arguing with people's intellect. So notice the stories you tell yourself reaches your heart. Okay? There was another thing. The other thing too, and this is from Jane Goodall. Notice the awesome things she did for the environment, for our understanding of how more connected we are to animals than we think. It's less of that patriarchal hierarchy and dominance and more like, whoa, they get sad when somebody dies like I get sad when somebody dies, right? Jane Goodall, good person. So I want to leave you with her words. She says, focus on the present and make choices today whose impact will build over time. So I offer that to you. The small acts of decluttering that you're doing today, the actions you're taking, feel good about them so you learn to feel good about driving in the direction of what you want. You may not be there yet, But every step in the right direction is closer to that direction, and it's further away from what you don't want. So I offer to you, don't give up, chunk it down, and I will see you. Yay! Therapy Gal Sue says, thanks you for helping make it better. I hope this was helpful. Okay, for those of you who are doing decluttering paperwork, I don't know your schedules. I don't know anybody's schedule. Barely know my own. No, I totally do. There's going to be an 11 a.m. YouTube live. Okay, so if you want to take a break from the paperwork and you have the ability to come back at 11 a.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel, I will be there for you. Okay? All right, friends, I got stuff to do, and I know you do too. As my husband likes to say, take care of yourself and take care of each other. All right, Patty, I'll see you at 11. And anybody else who wants to join. And hey, Lori Hannah, I saw you just popping in. Hope you're doing well in Arizona.